Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Core studio. Welcome to the show. Today's episode comes to you courtesy of my incredible patrons. Once a month, they vote on what commander they want to see in an upcoming episode, and the commander that gets the most votes wins. And for today's episode, the commander that they chose is Bator Kintu All. Such a fun commander, a really unique commander, and one that can be so incredibly deadly. A 5/7 Spirit Dragon with flying that costs 5 mana and Abzan. At the beginning of your end step, if creatures you control have total toughness 10 or greater, draw a card. Then if creatures you control have total toughness 20 or greater, untap each creature you control. Then if creatures you control have total toughness 40 or greater, each opponent loses half their life, rounded up. That is a crazy effect, and one that is super devastating, but it even can just be game ending in combination with some other cards. So with this deck, we are going to be getting out, yes, some creatures that have some amazing, incredible amounts of toughness, but also just some big threats themselves that, of course, with the power come toughness too. And then with that, getting that total toughness to 40 and then some. And from there, utilizing certain cards to decimate and demolish and ruin our opponent's hopes and dreams when it comes to winning this commander game, because the game is ours. Yeah, so much value that this commander can generate us on the way to devastation, and yes, some amazing tactics work along with it. If you are interested in this deck, check out that deck list link in the description below. With all that said, though, let's jump into the tactics. So this tactic I am calling Start with the End because, well, I mean, with the end in mind, if we do get to that 40 toughness, which again, we can very easily get there with a deck like this, building it properly, well, we can then end the game with Warlock class. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, each opponent loses 1 life. That won't get us there. Level 2 for an extra 2 mana. When this class becomes level 2, the top 3 cards of your library, 1 goes in your hand, the rest in your graveyard. Also, nice, but not going to get us there. Level 3, here we go, 7 more mana, well worth it though. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life they lost this turn. Yeah, that's game over. That is literally just game over in combination with our commander, because our commander makes our opponents lose half their life, again, rounded up. So no matter what their life total is, let's say, I don't even know, 1,000. Cool, all right. Even 1,001. Then they would lose 500, well, in 1 life in that case. But essentially, the next time, again, at the end of the turn, with the Warlock class, they would also then lose, because we stack it properly, of course, well, the extra 500 life. They would basically just double that up, and they would then lose the game. Again, no matter what their life total is, if they are losing that amount and then it doubles, they are just gone. So, of course, well, we're also going to be utilizing Wound Reflection. We're going to be spending up just a little bit for this one, right around $2, and enchantment for 6 mana in total. Beginning of each end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life they lost this turn. Again, literally just a Warlock class without all the rigmarole of, leveling up. That being said, an incredibly impactful card, obviously, with a deck like this. And then there's a Stare in the Decadent, another commander card that can really help us out in a commander itself, but in the 99 in this case. 4/4 Vampire Elf Rogue with Death Touch and Lifelink for 6 mana and Orzhov. Beginning of your end step, choose 1. Target opponent loses life equal to the amount of life lost this turn, or you gain life equal to the amount of life you gained this turn. I mean, if you need the life gain, sure, but most likely, again, it's going to be, hey, you lost half your life. Let's double that. You lose that again as well. So yeah, being able to double that up with this can at least take 1 player out of the game, too. Next up, though, yeah, let's talk about some incredibly efficiently costed creatures for this deck with tactic number 2, Simply Tough. Because Tree of Redemption is simply tough. I mean, it has 0 power, but we don't really care about that when it comes to our endgame with this type of a strategy. 0/13 Plant with Defender for 4 mana in green. Tap, exchange your life total with this creature's toughness. I mean, this can be a play in and of itself. Literally just, let's say we're at 40 life, right? Okay. We tap to go down to 13. Oh no, we're at 13. Oh, but wait, I've got 40 toughness plus my commander's toughness as well. That's 47. Over 40, there you go. That will then trigger, again, making the life loss be, again, half of our opponent's life totals. And if we've got, again, Warlock class all the way up to level 3, or we got other things out there as well, if we've got, Wound Reflection, whatever we have, we can win the game right then and there with this gem. Another awesome card, though, Unhallowed Phalanx, is also kind of, along the giant toughness lines, but not quite to the level of Tree of Redemption, which already is a lot at 13, but can, of course, be more. Unhallowed Phalanx is a 1/13 zombie soldier for 5 mana in black. Enters the battlefield tapped. Again, we don't really care. It is nice that, if it did enter the battlefield untapped so we could block with it. So I guess that does matter there. When it comes to just adding to our toughness total, again, this plus our commander already gets us to 20, meaning that it's going to untap at the end of the turn anyway. So yeah, we can block with it too. And of course gets us to the card draw as well. Yeah, just being able to get basically half of the way there to 40 with this plus our commander is pretty incredible. But now let's go to tactic number 3, Simply Big, because when it comes to like these toughness matters type decks, some players might just forget that, here's the thing. There are certain creatures out there that just get big overall. I mean, Managorger Hydra can very easily become bigger than any of the other creatures in this deck because it's just a 1/1 Hydra trample. It costs 3 mana, but whenever any player casts a spell, you get a counter on it. So again, whether you're casting spells or your opponent's casting spells, it doesn't matter. This is going to be growing throughout the game, getting absolutely massive. And yeah, its toughness is going to be huge, which of course is going to obviously add to our total toughness for our commander. But also, it's going to gain power too, making it a giant threat for us and one that can trample through with some damage as well. Forgotten Ancient, yet another card that you might not expect in a deck like this, but it's absolutely incredible. 0/3 Elemental for 4 mana in green. Whenever anyone casts a spell again, you can get a counter on this. And of course, you can spread those counters out to wherever you want to, essentially, on your upkeep, which is very nice. But again, literally just being like, okay, keep gaining power. And yes, toughness for me, that is absolutely huge. Or how about Stag Beetle? That's right, Stag Beetle. A 0/0 insect for 5 mana in green. Enters the battlefield with a number of counters on it, wrecks the number of other creatures in play. So basically, hey, whatever the amount of creatures are in play, whether you're going wide and we do have some go wide cards, or your opponents are, there's bound to be a good amount of creatures on the board. I mean, it's not unlikely that there's like 20 plus creatures on the board at certain points of the game, and you're like, okay, I play this. Now it's the biggest creature on the board, number 1. Its power and toughness is going to stay that way, unlike another card that I might bring up here in a little bit, which can be a positive or a negative. And then it's going to, just be absolutely massive. A giant threat that adds to our total toughness. And this literally plus our commander could potentially get there with the right strategy. Beast of Burden. This is the kind of card I just referenced. A star artifact creature for 6 mana in total. Power and toughness, each equal to the number of creatures in play. So this one's a bit more in flux. Stag Beetle is better when you play it on a big board. Beast of Burden can adjust, essentially. Is better when there is a bigger board out there, but again, can shrink, can grow, depending on the situation. So yeah, this can be an absolutely massive threat for us, and also, of course, a giant addition to our toughness. And then we also have Sunscorched Region. Somewhat similar to our, Managorger Hydra and Forgotten Ancient. A 4/3 dragon with flying for 5 mana in white. When our opponent casts a spell, you get a counter on this, and you gain 1 life. The 1 life is nice just to pad our life total. That's lovely. That being said, any opponent's casting spells basically adds to our total toughness. And of course, this is just a massive flying threat for us too, so that could be quite nice. Next up though, Realm Seekers. This very easily and often is going to be the biggest creature on the board the second it hits the board. A 0/0 Elf Scout for 6 mana in green. Enters the battlefield, X counters on it with X the total number of cards in all players' hands. I have played this plenty of times, and I don't think I've ever had it been anything less than a 10/10. It is a massive card, and again, it's not uncommon for it to be like 20 plus power as well, and you can also pay to remove counters from it to go tutor up lands in your hand. Sure, that's nice, but of course, most importantly, it's just, oh, okay, I play it onto a board. Players have big hands. Cool, it's like a 25 power creature. Lovely. All of a sudden, I am nearly there to my total of 40, that number. Whatever, anyways, Towering Titan, gonna get us there pretty much on its own, if we have a board. A 0/0 giant for 6 mana. This creature enters with X counters on it, X the total toughness of other creatures you control. Sacrifice a creature defender. All creatures gain trample till end of turn. This one is one where, yeah, you basically play it onto a board, and you've got a couple other creatures in play that have a good amount of toughness. This says, let me just double up your toughness for you. So if you are already at 20 toughness, you play this, and now all of a sudden you are at 40, which is absolutely crazy. Then sure, getting trampled if you sacrifice a defender, that could be quite nice too. Ancient Stone Idol. This is a really fun one for you. A 12/12 Golem, can be a 6/12 eventually though, with flash for 10, mana cost 1 less cast for each attacking creature. It's got trample. When it dies, here's the 6/12. You create a 6/12 trampling construct artifact creature token. So basically, this is one that you can cast for incredibly cheap if the time is right. If you're attacking with a lot of creatures, if an opponent's attacking you with a lot of creatures, or even someone else with a lot of creatures, cool, you can cast this very cheap for a 12/12, which is absolutely massive. And again, when it dies, it replaces itself, and its toughness amount stays. Again, it stays at 12 toughness. Quite nice. Primeval Protector, one that I basically only ever casted for just a single mana for a 10/10. Avatar for, again, 11 mana, but it's going to cost 1 less cast for each creature opponents control. So again, it can just be basically a single green mana. Enters the battlefield, put a counter on each other creature you control. So this is going to be much more than even just 10 toughness for us. It's going to be 10, which is already 1/4 of the way there. But of course, it spreads out those counters too. So if we have got, say, 5 creatures in play, that's basically an extra 5 toughness we're adding in as well. And finally, Galta Primal Hunger. Yeah, big mean dino. 12/12 Elder Dinosaur for 12 mana, but you're never going to pay that. Costs X less cast for actually total power creatures you control, and you can trample it through. Quite nice. Again, with a deck like this where we care not just about toughness, but also about creatures that just either grow over time or are just inherently large. Yeah, just being able to play a 12/12 dinosaur for just 2 mana is massive. Again, gets us so close to that 40 power, 40 toughness, I should say. But, I mean, toughness is basically power in this deck, right? Toughness equals decimating opponents. Toughness equals holding the power, controlling the power of the game. Next up, though, well, we've got a tactic we're talking about going wide because Harass the Endless Web can be a great addition to this deck. A 3/5 enchantment creature spider for 4 mana in green. It's got reach, and it says, where an opponent casts an instant sorcery spell, you make a 1/2 green spider creature token with reach. Again, like I was talking about earlier, Mana Gorger, Hydra, those types of cards can get bigger and bigger and bigger as our opponents keep casting more spells, adding to our toughness. This does too, specifically for instants and sorceries, again, making us an army of little spiders that, again, have 2 toughness, which can really knock down that total toughness that we need to get to. Speaking of which, Silverwing Squadron. Star Human Knight for 6 mana, Flying Vigilance. Power and toughness each equal number of creatures we control, so this can grow throughout the game as well. Whenever this attacks, we get a number of 2/2 White Knight creature tokens with Vigilance, equal number of opponents we have. First of all, it's a nice army to have. Again, vigilant creatures, swinging, staying back, defending. That's lovely. But yeah, literally, just picture this. Okay, again, say we have this plus our commander in play, all right? We've got 2 creatures. It's a 2/2. Okay, we attack. All of a sudden, we get 3 more creatures. Now it's a 5/5 plus those 6 toughness among those 3 creatures we just got. Now we're going from, again, this just being a 2/2 to essentially contributing to 5 plus 6, 11 total toughness, basically just by attacking with this. We do so again the next turn, and all of a sudden we get 3 more, which is 6 more toughness, plus the 3 toughness this gains from those more creatures coming into play. This can just keep building and building and building itself, well, an army, but also building up our toughness too. And of course, Avenger of Zendikar, somehow now a budget-friendly card. I love it. Less than $1. 5/5 elemental for 7 mana in green. When it enters, you get a 0/1 plant for each land you control, and of course landfall. Yeah, we're in green. Plenty of ways to use and abuse lands. Whenever a land you control enters, you may get a counter on each plant you control. Yeah, we're going to be doing that. So again, you play this, you've got, say 7 lands in play. Cool, that's 12 total toughness. All of a sudden, play another land, that's an extra 7. Again, 19 total toughness. You can very easily get to, the amount you need to get to, 40, with just this in your commander and some landfall, use, abuse shenanigans. Just like regular ramp cards or like an Evolving Wilds. Have fun. Get ready for this next tactic, though. Up next, we've got, well, stick around. We're going to be doing so with your Temple is under attack, an instant for 3 mana. Choose 1. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn, or you and target opponent each draw 2 cards. First of all, again, this is a great, hey, oh, you're going to try to destroy the board? Well, don't mess with my toughness. Let's just keep everything in play. Thank you. Or, hey, you know what? I need some cards. Let's make a deal with an opponent. What opponent can I make a deal with? Okay, you want to attack me, I want to attack you. All right, you get to draw the 2 cards, or you can't, destroy my commander for the next 2 turns, or whatever it's going to be. Make the deal that you need to make for those 2 cards. Players will make deals for cards. Next up, Bedrock Tortoise, a 0/6 turtle for 4 mana in green. As long as it's your turn, creature you control have hexproof. That is massive, being able to protect our team, especially, again, when we want to get to the end step and say, oh, our commander's in play? Oh, okay, you lose. Good. Each creature you control toughness greater than its power assigns combat damage with a toughness rather than its power. That's a great way to say, you know what, instead, we're just actually going to be assigning with the other side, and all of a sudden you're going to be taken out with our giant toughness creatures. Essence of Antiquity, though, speaking of which, would really benefit from that. A 1/10 golem for 5 mana, but we can actually disguise it instead for 2 and a white. When it's turned face up, creature control gain hexproof until end of turn, untap them. A great trick play. We can untap, go, we have all these tapped creatures. Oh, no, they untap. That's great. Or just a great way to protect them with that hexproof. Speaking of which, Kolfenor, the last you, 3/7 Treefolk Shaman with Vigilance and Reach for 6 mana in Abzan. When it or another creature control dies, return to 1 target creature card with lesser toughness from your graveyard to your hand. Again, we've got so many creatures with so much toughness, we can get smaller things out, or again, things that are grow throughout time, get bigger throughout time, you get other things out. it's going to be a lot of value, again, if we ever have our things taken out. But now, let's keep going with number 6. Pump it up. And yeah, this card, this little innocuous card, can be absolutely game-ending. An instant speed for 2 mana, tower defense. Creatures you control get +0/+5 and gain reach until end of turn. First of all, just a nice little like combat trick card to go, oh, okay, you're attacking me. All of a sudden, your little flyers are now all blocked. And also, my creatures are easily surviving combat, of course. But essentially, though, this can be a great, oh, your opponents think that you're not quite going to win kind of card, and then you easily do. Because you're like, okay, I'm at, again, like, let's just say 20 toughness. I've got 4 creatures in play. I'm not going to trigger the, hey, oh yeah, opponents lose, half their life. So even if I have Wound Reflection in play, they might be like, oh, it doesn't matter yet. It's okay. Like, I'm just going to get there. And then all of a sudden you play this, and it's like, okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 creatures. I just gave them all 5 extra toughness each. That's 20 extra toughness. That gets me to that 40 toughness, and I win. So this can be, again, like a good, again, like utility card where it can be protective. It can also be game-ending. Yeah, out of nowhere for just 2 mana. It's amazing. Moving on. Have you ever heard of Castle? Yeah, this is a card. Enchantment for 4 mana in white. Untapped creatures you control at +0/+2 when not attacking. Interesting. So yeah, it's a very old card, but basically it's like, hey, untapped creature control at +0/+2. I think they might have taken off the not attacking part, but because, it assumes like the tapping, but you never know with vigilance. That being said, it is a card that pumps our creatures effectively with toughness, and again, if you have, say, 5 creatures in play, that's an extra 10 toughness for you. It can help you push you over that line to get to 40. Builder's Blessing basically is the exact same thing. Enchantment for 4 mana, your untapped creatures get +0/+2. Obviously, good to help, defend too. But, yeah, just mostly get over the line. And, of course, with, like, those go wide cards we talked about as well, yeah, that can really come into effect. Again, if we have, say, like, those 7, little, creature tokens, the plant tokens we got from Avenger of Zendikar, that's a ton of extra toughness. That's like 14 extra toughness for us, so it can really help us get there. Or Dictative Heliod for 1 extra mana at flash speed, giving our creatures +2/+2. Yeah, that can be a great combat trick and a great game ender for us as well. Speaking of which, Collective Blessing. Creatures control get +3/+3. It's also, just 6 mana for us. That's not too bad, again, for a giant effect like this. Again, a massive bump effect that can really help our team in general, but of course can help us get over the line with that 40 toughness when we need it. And then how about Baldin Century Herdmaster? This one is so much fun. 0/7 Human Warrior for 6 mana in white. During your turn, each creature assigns combat damage equal to toughness rather than its power. So again, like that turtle we talked about earlier, yet another great way to say, hey, you know what? Big toughness is what matters. And of course, when this attacks up to 100 target creatures. Yeah, that's right, 100. We don't need that many. We're probably not going to get to that many, but it's nice to have. Each get +0/+X until end of turn, where X the number of cards in your hand. That can be a great way to just pump toughness. And again, if we have, say, 7 cards in our hand and like a couple of creatures in play, we're going to get there. We're going to get to that 40 quite easily with this. Stay tuned for this tactic, though, with Dig Down, because, yeah, we've got plenty of ways to dig down into the cards that we need to win. Night's Whisper, a great 1 sorcery for 2 mana. Hey, draw 2, lose 2. Very easily, I will pay 1 life for 1 card in Commander. So, yeah, very simple, very effective, very efficient. On top of, again, our Commander already drawing us a lot of cards, because getting to 10 toughness is absolutely nothing. That being said, Mausoleum Secrets, an amazing card for this deck. Instant speed for 2 mana. Search life for a black card. Converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Reveal up in your hand, then shuffle your library. You basically just need 1 card in your graveyard. 1 creature card in your graveyard, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, I tutor for Warlock class at instant speed. Yeah, have fun with that. Next up, Wall Blossoms. A very simple, very effective wall 0/4 with Defender that costs 2 mana. Enters, draw a card. Again, keep in mind, literally this plus our commander equals, we get to that 10 toughness, and also now our commander just draws us 1 card each of our turns. Wall of Omens, literally the exact same thing, but in white. 0/4 Defender that says, hey, draw some cards when you ETB. Cool. Demonic Bargain, though, one that you might not expect in this deck, but I actually really like this tutor. Source for 3 mana. It's just 12 cents for this gem. Exile the top 13 cards of your library, search life for a card, put that card in your hand, then shuffle. Now, is there a chance that you literally hit all 3 of those cards that say, hey, you know what? Let's double up that life loss? Sure, there is a percentage chance that you do that, and that is unfortunate. But that is very unlikely to happen. So, yeah, this card, even if you do that, you've got other ways to win, of course. You've got a bunch of giant creatures, so go get the card that you need to win with this, too. But yes, of course, most of the time it's like, okay, I cast this. Yeah, I can go get either Warlock class or Wound Reflection or whatever I need to win. Moving on. Painful Truce. 3 mana of different colors. Draw 3, lose 3. What's not to love about that efficiency? Diabolic Tutor, of course, very simple, very effective. 4 mana, tutor for any card in your library. Increasing Ambition does the exact same thing, but at 5 mana. But if we flash it back as well for 8 mana in total, go tutor for 2 more cards. So yeah, this can get you a lot of cards to help you win. Necrologia, kind of like a mini tutor itself. 5 mana, instant speed, but you can only play it on your end step. As this costs cast to pay any amount of life. We're willing to pay quite a bit. That's fine. Draw cards, equal life paid this way. So dig down so far into your deck to get to the cards that you need to win. Razcast Right, go tutor for a card for 5 mana or cycle this away if you don't need it. Netherborn Phalanx, this is a fun one. A 2/4 that costs 6 mana in total. ETBs, each opponent loses 1 life for each creature they control. This can be a very weird, like, finisher just out of nowhere against certain strategies out there. Again, if someone's like a go wide strategy, like, I've got 30 tokens in play. And you're like, okay, wasn't planning on casting this, but Netherborn Phalanx, you lose? Haha! It's kind of like a Rakdos Charm in that way. That being said, you can transmute it away by paying 3 mana and discarding it and tutor up any card in your library that costs exactly 6, like, Wound Reflection, and win the game. And again, Wound Reflection, maybe that can be countered, but actually this can't be countered at all because, I guess a Stifle can counter it, but it is an ability. It's not casting when you transmute it. Play for Guidance. Again, speaking of Wound Reflection or Warlock class or whatever you need, search for 6 mana in total. Play for Guidance. Search for 2 enchantment cards, reveal them, put in your hand, then shuffle your library. Again, lots of great enchantments, even outside of our little, hey, double up your life loss kind of cards. Finally, Overwhelmed Observer, a 6/6 itself, so a good amount of toughness and power there as well. For 6 mana in green, whenever a creature control a toughness 4 or greater dies, draw a card. That's basically all of our creatures in our deck that meet that requirement. So yeah, even our token creatures that we're eventually going to get that, grow like our plants potentially, or that we pump with anthems, we can draw a lot of cards with this if our things get taken out. Speaking of things getting taken out, let's move on to our next tactic. Tech number 8, break stuff. First up, Caustic Caterpillar. Simple little 1/1 insect for a single green mana, but you can pay 2 to sacrifice it, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Again, it might start off small, sure to say 1/1. Keep in mind that we do have ways to pump it. We do have anthem effects out there, so even just a simple 1/1, just being a body on the field can help us add to our total toughness, especially if we have something like, Collective Blessing out. It's like, okay, then it's 4 toughness in total. That adds quite a bit there. Again, like 1/10 of the way there. Insidious Fungus, even more so, a 1/2 fungus for a single green mana. Pay 2, sacrifice it, choose 1, destroy an artifact, enchantment, or draw a card, or put a land from your hand on the battlefield tap. So basically like a, hey, explore type effect that just sits on the table if you need it. Cankerbloom, a 3/2 for Phyrexian Fungus for 2 mana. Pay 1, sacrifice it, choose 1, destroy an artifact, destroy enchantment, or Proliferate, which again can get us over the line if you've got like Avenger of Zendikar in play, putting a bunch of counters on things, or Forgotten, Ancient doing that too. You can get a lot of things out there, and all of a sudden, oh, okay, let's proliferate this, and all of a sudden, I am at the total I need to be at. Cathar Commando, flash this in as a 3/1 human soldier for 2 mana. Pay 1, sacrifice it to destroy target artifact or enchantment. Oblation, I love this removal spell. Make an opponent, or maybe yourself actually, shuffle a non-land permanent into its owner's library, then they draw 2 cards. Again, it gets rid of basically anything permanently, and if you just need to draw some cards, it can be a good desperation way to do so, even if you're just exchanging a token for it. Rexage is a good one as well for this deck. 2/1 Elf Shaman for 3 mana, enters the battlefield to make a destroy target artifact or enchantment. Again, when you just want to get some bodies on the field that again get pumped with certain things like anthems, that can help you get to your total toughness. Now, when it comes to some Wrath, Cleansing Nova is a great one, good and flexible, destroy all creatures, destroy all artifacts, and enchantments depending on the situation for 5 mana in white. Fell the Mighty, very flexible and great with this deck as well. Source for 5 mana, destroy all creatures with power greater than target creature's power. It's very flexible for us. Speaking of which, Austere Command. Choose 2, destroy artifacts, enchantments, big creatures, small creatures, whatever you need to do, do it. Finally, there's Dusk. Destroy all creatures power 3 or greater, or you can cast its Aftermath side out of the graveyard as well. Bring back small creatures to your hand. But how are we actually going to get the resources to get things started? Well, let's talk about tactic number 9, ramp it up. First up, there's, of course, Rampant Growth. 2 mana, get a basic and play tapped. Simple and effective. It is just what ramp is named after for a reason. Edge of Autumn, basically the exact same thing. If you've got 4 fewer lands, it's a Rampant Growth. When you cast it, it's amazing. Or later on in the game, it can be a great card that's never dead because, yeah, if you draw at the top of your library on turn like 12 and you're like, oh, I don't need to ramp. Oh, I do need to draw another card, though. Cycle it away by sacrificing a land. Next up, Steve. Basically, Rampant Growth on a body. Sorry, Steve, you're going to be sacrificed, and we'll get that basic in play tapped. Cultivate, go get 2 basics. 1 to play tapped, and 1 into your hand to set up your next land drop. Grow from the Ashes. Kick 2, and if you do, you get 2 basics in play untapped. or 1 into play untapped if you didn't kick it. Harrow, sacrifice 1 mana to get 2 lands into play untapped, so you can utilize that mana right away. Speaking of which, search for tomorrow, suspend 2 for a single green mana, then 2 turns later, go get that basic land right on the battlefield, untapped for some extra mana boost. Springflume Druid, basically kind of like a Harrow on a body, but those lands come to play tapped, so more like Roiling Regrowth. ETB, sacrifice 1 land, get 2 basics going to play tap. But again, yet another body on the battlefield, which helps us, again, when it comes to that total toughness. Speaking of which, Topiary Stomper, even more toughness and power too. 4/4 Plant Dinosaur, because that's the thing. Keep in mind that with Adventure Zendikar, actually. Do keep in mind that synergy, because you can get counters on this. Vigilance for 3 mana in green. Enters the battlefield, search life for a basic land by battlefield tap, then shuffle. Can't attack or block unless you got 7 more lands. You're gonna get there. You're in green. Beanstalk Giant, yeah, this one can be giant in terms of actually getting to your total toughness. Star that's got power and toughness equal number of lands you control, that can be huge. But you also, earlier on, can just cast Fertile Footsteps, the adventure part of it. Go get that basic onto the battlefield, untap, then shuffle. So yeah, a huge card early and late in the game for us. Finally, though, let's talk about tactic number 10, Great Lands. Revitalizing Repass, such a good card. Again, a MDFC land that on the back it can tap for either a green or black. Does end a battlefield tap, but that's okay. Just a single mana in Golgari, instant speed, get a counter target creature, which again, yes, does add to our toughness. Do keep that in mind. And it gains indestructible until end of turn. A great way to protect a key piece, especially our commander. Tangleflorahedron, basically a land on the back that enters tapped, or a mana dork in play. Again, a warm body on the battlefield can be the difference in the game for us. Bridgeworks Battle can be a great way to remove things. Target creature control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. It fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Keep in mind that little toughness boost can be a difference maker as well. And finally, Colony Ambush. Target creature control fights on a target creature you don't control. Again, we've got so many big creatures on the board. We're going to be able to take out basically anything we want to with this MDFC land. Again, a massive thank you to my amazing patrons out there. If you're interested in supporting this channel as well, make sure you check out that link in the description below to go check out my Patreon. And yes, again, Bator is such a fun commander. If you enjoyed this deck and you want to take apart, well, then this deck can just actually, demolish your opponents with a commander that can do so, like Bator can, to all in this very exciting way, with either toughness or power, a combination of both. Make sure you check out that deck list link in the description below. And with that, this episode is come to a close. Make sure you comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.